Jingle Bell tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make a feather stitch in crochet. This is a pretty cute little pattern and it's also super easy to make, so I hope y'all really enjoy making this pattern. To get started, we need to make some chains, and you want to do those in a multiple of 8 plus 2. So for this tutorial, I've gone ahead and made 18 chains. So to get started, what we want to do is go to the second chain from our hook, and remember, we never count the one that's on our hook. So 1, 2, right there we're going to make a single crochet. And we're also going to single crochet into the remaining chains, so we should end up with 17. So here's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're also going to single crochet into all of these stitches, so we should end up with 17 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to do the same thing on this row because we need 3 rows to do our feather. So you need 3 rows of single crochet. So one more row here, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now this is going to finish out our first color, so all we're going to do is just snip our working yarn, pull it through the loop to secure, and then grab our next color, make a loop around our fingers, insert your hook underneath the circle, grab the yarn, pull it through, and that way when you pull it, you'll have a knot on your hook. Now, if you need more information on how to do things like this, or individual stitches, or even how to sew all these little end pieces into your work, then visit my channel because I have tutorials on how to do all those. All right, so to attach our new color, we're going to insert our hook into the last stitch that we made. Grab our yarn, pull it through the loop that was on our hook, make a chain, and turn our work. Now we're going to single crochet into the first stitch. Now we're ready to make our feather. So to make our feather, what we're going to do is insert our hook into that same stitch that we just did, grab the yarn, pull it through. Then for our next one, instead of going through that top of the single crochet, we're going to go down a row. So we're going to insert our hook into that second row of stitches that we made. Grab a loop, pull it up. And if you don't pull it up, it'll just end up scrunching your work down. So always pull so you got like a little leeway there. Then for our next one, we're going to go down to the first row of single crochets and pull a loop up. Then we're going to go back to that second row, pull a loop up. And then on the last one, we'll go back to the first row and pull a loop up. So you should end up with 6 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to pull through all of those loops, make a chain to close. Then we're going to make a single crochet into the last one that we pulled a loop through. And we're also going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches, so that'll give us a total of 5 single crochets in between each feather. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're ready to do our next feather. So see, it's not that bad. You're just going through the last stitch that you made to pull a loop up, and then on your next one you're going down to your second row. In your next stitch you're going down to your first row. Then in the next one you're going back to the second, and then in your last one you're going back to the first row. And then you do a chain to close them, and then you single crochet into the next 5, the first one being the last one you pulled a loop through. So anyway, let's go ahead and start this again so you can see it one more time. Because I know it sounds confusing, but it's really not confusing once you get the hang of it. All right, so we're pulling a loop up through the last one that we did a stitch in. Going to our next one, going down to that second row of single crochets, pulling up a loop. Then for our next one, we're going down to our first row, pulling up a loop. For our next one, we're going back to the second row, pulling up a loop. Then on the next one, we're going back to the first row and pulling up a loop for 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you turn your work over, you'll see that you have like those 3 tops that you've skipped. All right, so now we're just going to yarn over, pull through all the little loops, make a chain to close, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 5, starting in the one that we made the last loop in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're ready to go back to doing our next base for our next row of feathers. So we need to have single crochets, and you should end up with the same amount that you started with. So I'm looking for 17 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you get to your first feather, you're going to skip the chain that's holding them together, go to the next one, and you're going to make 3 single crochets into that next stitch. So we're at 5, so here's 6, 7, 8, then we're back to normal. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, skip the chain holding your feather together, 3 into the next one, 14, 15, 16, and then you'll have the 17th into your very last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work, then single crochet into all of these, so you should have 17 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, chain 1, turn your work. Then we got one more row to go. See, it is a really easy pattern. It's mostly just a whole bunch of single crochets. All right, one more row here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. All right, now we're just going to snip our working yarn, pull it through the loop to secure. Then I'm going back to my first color, but you can use a different color if you want to. It's completely up to you. Make a loop, insert our hook underneath the circle, grab the yarn, pull it through. That way when we close it, we'll have a knot on our hook. Insert our hook into the last stitch that we made, grab the yarn, pull it through, and also through the loop that was on our hook, chain 1, and turn our work. Now we're ready to make our next row of feathers, and we want our feathers to be off center from the others. We don't want them to line up on top. We want them to go, in between the last ones that we did, because it looks pretty cool that way. All right, so how we're going to do that is we're going to single crochet into the first 5 this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to make our feather. So just like before, we're going to insert our hook into the last stitch that we made, pull a loop up. Then for the next one, we're going to go down to that second row, pull a loop up. For the next one, go down to the first row, pull a loop up. For the next one, go back to your second row, pull a loop up. And your last one, go back to the first row, pull a loop up. You have 6 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you flip it over, you can see the 3 tops that you've skipped. Yarn over, pull through all the loops, make a chain to close, and then single crochet into the next 5, starting with the last one you pulled a loop up in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, once you get the hang of doing the little feathers, then this is like a super easy pattern to do because it's mostly composed of single crochets, but it ends up looking so cute, don't you think? All right, so now we're ready for our next feather. So we're going to insert our hook into the last stitch that we made, pull a loop up. For the next one, go down to the second row, pull a loop up. For the next one, go down to the first row, pull a loop up. Then back to the second row, pull a loop up, then to the first row, pull a loop up, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see the tops of the 3 that we skipped. Yarn over, pull through all the loops, make a chain to close, single crochet into the last stitch, chain 1, and turn our work. And now we're back to doing single crochets, and remember we want the same amount, which is 17. So we're going to single crochet into that first one. We'll skip the chain that's holding our feather together, go to the next one and make 3. So here's number 2, 3, 4, then we're back to normal. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, skip the loop that's holding your feather together and make 3 in the next one, 10, 11, 12, then back to normal, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, make a chain, and turn your work. And that's pretty much the pattern. You just keep repeating rows 2 through 9 until you reach your desired height. And when you get done, you should end up with a pattern that looks like this. I hope this has been a helpful tutorial, and if so, please subscribe to the channel for more nifty tutorials and patterns. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.